The following is a production of Fenix Media. The views expressed do not necessarily represent those of the company or its advertisers and may contain language that's unsuitable for younger listeners. Welcome back, everybody, to You Bet Your Ass, a Patreon-exclusive podcast where we cover the week's biggest sports bets. Of course, we're broadcasting live from the National Automobile Museum in downtown Reno. Of course, you can get tickets and information at automuseum.org. Now, I'm Kristian Fenix, and with me is the Trent Green to my Greg Gumbel, the G-Man. How you doing, G-Man?
Doing good, man. Doing good.
Right on.
Trent Green, yeah. That guy, he was kind of in a couple places, played for the Rams, had some success, and then, of course, with the Chiefs. You know, kind of like came from background into a starter, seemed to always get hurt once he was in that starter role, and then whoever replaced him took over, and now he's broadcasting. And he does a good job, too.
I was going to say he's a better broadcaster than he was a quarterback, even though he was a very passable quarterback.
Yeah, so, absolutely. Yeah. Hey, he made Dick Vermeil cry when he got hurt. I remember that.
I forgot about that. There's a throwback for you.
Right. See, I watched the games.
And, Greg Gumbel, I don't think he's quite the broadcaster his brother is, but you know what? He does well for himself. So.
He was different. He was definitely a consummate professional.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's all you're looking for.
Good stuff.
We try to be consummate professionals. Yeah. Sometimes we are, sometimes we're not, but that's okay.
Speaking of the Gumbel brothers, the story goes that, they used to practice this stuff. They knew what they were going to want to do as adults as they were kids growing up.
No kidding.
Yeah, so... they're not the only ones that have shared that story, but that's something that's pretty cool when you think about it.
That's awe-inspiring. Not many people try to become broadcasters, but them knowing what they want and going out and getting it, good for them.
Yeah, you got Joe Buck, of course, his father, Jack, very famous, and so he was able to see him, and Jack, of course, especially back in that time era, just modeled, the epitome of, again, probably being a professional, and probably was frank with his son in the background, grown up, teaching him the ropes and stuff like that. But here he is today. And
that's the thing, you can tell that he's put the hard work in. It's not just nepotism and he's,
for sure,
phoning it in. He actually does his work, and he and Troy are a good pairing, even though I know you're not the biggest Troy Aikman fan.
Yeah, no, I respect, Troy. I remember I used to like him for sure when he was at UCLA, but it was just all of his exploits with the Cowboys against my Niners,
Right.
But nothing sour. They certainly earned it, those guys are Hall of Famers, the triplets, the original. Were they the original triplets? Probably the original coined with the triplets.
Yeah.
But, you got to give credit where credit is due. And so those guys were fantastic. We just could, we could have, without that little Jimmy Johnson rush there, we probably could have got around where the Patriots are now with about 8 Super Bowls, I figure.
Oh, definitely.
But
that's the joy of football. It doesn't always go as planned, so.
Absolutely. That's for sure. That's what we're here to talk about.
What did go as planned is our breakdown of last week, NFL Week 11, where you went 11-4.
Yeah.
Talk about a winning record for a week.
Crazy. And it's one of those things, could have been a little better, and it could have been not as good, but things shook out like that. And so we're pleased. We're due, to really have a good weekend, I think.
Well, and if you've been hanging on with us this entire run since the beginning of You Bet Your Ass, we've been saying we're going to get over that 50%. We're going to get over that 500 mark, and guess what?
Get back to it, yeah.
50.30%. We got it.
Fantastic. Let's keep it going. Let's keep moving in that northern direction.
Exactly. And, of course, we talk about the $2 tally each week that if you put down $2 on each bet, where you would be faring at this point in the season. And so, obviously the house pays out $3.80 for every $2 bet that you win. So you don't get the full, 1-to-1 ratio, but you'd only be down $14.60.
Yeah. So, hey, we got to get our take, Mikey,
And as long as you keep having winning records like you did last week, then that'll come up into the positive here soon too.
Yeah. Keep going. That's where, again, you want to, kind of get around that, 2 out of 3, type of level. So, but as we talked about last week, there's a couple of, there's a lot of pros that are out there that are in 30. They're on TV all the time. Picking 30-something%, 40-something%. So it's not an exact science,
right?
So that's for sure. But it shows you, they get a little bit back, and so at this point, $14, it's getting better and better.
Exactly. And we're ahead of the curve as we usually are at this point in the season, but it took a little bit longer to get there. So, it's a good place to be. And obviously we're going into Thanksgiving weekend. Of course, anybody watching might go, wait a minute, it's not Thursday. Why is this coming out on a Wednesday? Well, tomorrow's Thanksgiving. There's a trio of games. And so we came in a little bit early to talk about them, and we'll have fun. Maybe somebody will bust out the turducken at some point. Not here on the games, but
for sure.
Always a good time to watch.
Yeah, that's for sure going to be seen. And we already have pie, in our refrigerator, Ooh. So we're getting a little bit ready. Can't wait.
I'm in charge of the bird tomorrow, so
that's
another
right.
reason we couldn't record. But in any case, we do like to give a couple disclaimers at the beginning of each show. The first one is that, we give out these bets and talk about betting for entertainment purposes only. Don't bet anything you're not willing to lose. Look at it as fun. Just go into it knowing that, you may win, you may not, but don't go out and start borrowing from loan sharks and get your ankles broken because you can't cover a bet that we ended up giving you. It's all for entertainment. Yeah,
and I try to watch a lot of programs that are available via ESPN or NFL Network, and so everybody always has pretty much the same thing. The NFL is also providing hotlines if you do have any kind of gambling problem, challenge, a little bit of lack of discipline, and you're looking for some guidance, some techniques, even just maybe to answer a question, do I have a problem?
Right.
So all that stuff's out there. So as long as you're, again, having fun and treating it like from a budgetary standpoint, that this is just like if I wanted to go play golf or say go out to the movies and stuff like that. And so that's why this particular way of doing it, $2 at a time, shows you, how if you do just have a little bit of discretionary income, you can still participate. You don't have to bet the farm.
Right.
You can still get that. Ooh, when you're talking to your buddies at the water cooler, just like, oh yeah, I won that bet, they normally don't say, how much did you bet, or anything like that. No. But it's just like banter, it's just fun. It's just fun stuff. So make sure that you're handling your business. And I was thinking about, possibly maybe next year, I'm toying with it. I like to try things out, before I would introduce them. But, the other handicappers, they'll have, like unit bets, like this is a free bet, so it's like a 1-unit bet, but then they'll offer these 5-unit bets, 7 units. So the higher that they get, the more
potential
convicted,
right?
That they're compelled to bet more. So it's kind of like I've never actually subscribed to a service, but I've talked to some of them on the phone. And know, it's kind of like their business model and stuff like that. So
that'd be interesting to check out.
That'd be a tough job. It seems like I think that movie with Matthew McConaughey one time, was it Any Given Sunday, something like that with Al Pacino.
Show Me the Money.
Show Me the Money.
No. It's gonna.
I can't. So
that was Jerry Maguire.
It was all about the sports betting.
One for the money.
Maybe
something like that. Yeah,
it was about sports betting, and so it was an interesting little storyline that they had there. But
very cool.
It's always fun.
And we also like to mention that, we do research as much as possible up into the time that we record this, which today is Wednesday, most days is Thursday, but that leaves a lot of days before the actual game on Sundays, aside from the Thursday night games, which means that things can change. Players can get hurt, somebody could get arrested, weather could move in. any number of things. So we always want you to check out the in-play to hedge your bets a little bit and, basically take a look at, okay, if I bet everything that G-Man and Kristian said to bet, well, it's not looking that way right now. Well, you can go quarter by quarter, half by half, and do some in-play to try and make things up a little bit.
Absolutely. It's, again, gets back to your budget. Make sure that that you're managing that. Again, basic rule of thumb is whatever your bankroll is, don't be risking in any betting session, whether the betting session is, say, 3 hours for the first block of games or whether it's all day. Don't bet more than 10 to 20% of what your bankroll is. You don't want to be putting anything more into play than that. But that's a great thing about the in-play. Is it adds another dimension. And I think what we'll schedule maybe one of these times is that we talked about hedge betting, but I think we want to, if not today, talk about middling and why you may, want to try to toy with that a little bit if you're ever in that fortunate situation.
Right. I think that would be a good discussion, for sports betting for dummies.
Yeah.
And then, as we like to do at the beginning of each show, is our kickoff pick. This is our free breakdown, free analysis for all non-Patreon subscribers. Of course, if you like what we have to offer and you want to get the full slate of games and lineups, head over to patreon.com/YouBetYourAss. We have a $3 audio only level, which, it's, if you just need the information, that's a great way to do it. And it's only $3 a month. $5 for the video and the audio. So if you want to see our pretty faces, you can do that. And then our $10, which includes the video, the audio, your bonus bets each week. And then I do a bring 'em or bench 'em fantasy analysis on who to start in each of the key positions, who maybe not to play.
Yeah.
And, it's one of those things I keep saying each week. I'm leading my league in points. I'm top of my division. So I'd like to think that I know a little bit about what I'm talking about in the fantasy
You're doing
world,
amazingly well, too, and it's a reflection.
So in our kickoff pick, you picked the Titans headed to New England against the Patriots. You've got the Patriots -6.5. This one could be interesting. The Titans are coming off of the terrible loss against the Texans, who nobody saw that one coming. You've got Mike Vrabel, who used to be a Patriots player, coming back against his old coach, and Mac Jones, who continues to be on the up and up on his trajectory. And this will be definitely a fun one. How did you get to the -6.5?
Well, I think it opened at 6 or something like that every Monday, when the Sunday games are over. So I'm, of course, putting all the records in and all these different things. So during this Monday game, they have the spreads for most of the games, except for the teams that are playing in the game. That was wait until after that. And outside of injuries that they may be waiting for, you have the spread. So the initial spread, I believe, on the Patriots was 6 points. And so you can see these lines moved. No line moved more than the Washington spread that started at +3.5. And so I, of course, quickly, put those as my initial pick, and it's now at -1. So you can see how far the line moved.
Oh, wow, yeah.
On that, which was pretty amazing. So, so that's what we do, and we put that stuff in early, but by the time these things are kicked off, again, you just take the information that we may, provide here and kind of adjust it at the window. And if you don't feel comfortable, don't bet it. And, like you mentioned, you have a little bit of money in the in-play account, and normally you'll actually, whatever your kind of pregame disposition was, sometimes you miss the kickoff too. And so if you're going up to the window, that's your only option. Unless you, again, are out of a William Hill,
right,
sports book, then you can go up to the window and make a bet. But there's nothing like, kicking back at home and, being able to watch the flow of the game and different situational things happen. It's just like, most of the time, this based on this event, or you can, let's say another example, since we're going to talk about middles a little bit later, we'll give these guys a good little bone here. Let's say there's a team that is like a touchdown favorite, and they're down by 2 scores, but it's early in the game, and you can see that one of the reasons was a questionable call by the ref that continued this drive when they held him on 4th down, and subsequently they scored one of those touchdowns. They then subsequently converted when they were back on offense, a couple chunk plays, 15, 20, and then the guy broke free on the 20-yard one, and the guy comes back from behind and strips him, and then boom, they come back on offense, boom, quick play. They're down by 14, but that those are some bonehead. They're at home. You just are going to come back and win. Like right now, that's a good thing with like Kansas City. They've already got that history. They seem to be on a roll. So if they were at Arrowhead and that type of stuff happened, you're just like, Patrick will probably figure out, he'll get the ship righted, and the Chiefs will come back and win. So that would be a good opportunity.
Yeah, it's sort of those unaccountables, the things that you can't prepare for, you can't put stats on, that just, tend to go somebody's direction, or, somebody makes a bonehead move, and those are the things you always have to consider.
Couple decades of sports betting, you'll say, I've been here before, and so you see it so many times. And again, it doesn't happen all the time, but really what we do here is we bet percentages.
Right.
That's what we try to do, is identify percentages, and even if something's 75%, there's still that 25% of the time, that 1 in 4 times, that the other thing happens. So that's been happening a lot this year.
It really has. It's been a strange season. Yeah. Even when it comes to fantasy, I go 75% of what I'm looking at based on statistics. The other 25% is gut feel,
right.
Just how people have been playing, how they've been looking, right. and all of that. And, it's worked out for me so far.
Yeah, so far so good.
And that does do it for our kickoff pick. Again, head over to patreon.com/YouBetYourAss if you want to subscribe for the entire slate for as little as $3 a month. And we cover every game, every week.
That's right.